ordinary, boring Millie.
I love your dress. I think I saw it at Discount Bonanza.
Okay, way too
so I was
pretty to
never
be
the most
boring and not
popular.
pretty.
This weekend. Booker is gonna be at the dance.
And boys never really noticed me.
But that's classic teen setup. Is
Yes.
look at the ugly girl who's not ugly.
Right.
Honestly, if this was a horror movie,
That was me in high school.
I'd be one of the first ones to get killed.
The one who
Doing that kind of. Yeah, that's me.
The creepy dude in the mask.
Like I said,
That's a pretty cool shot. Oh.
but actually, it turns out
Where am I?
I didn't get killed.
Oh my God, why do I sound like that?
I woke up in the killer's body.
The Blissfield Butcher strikes again.
Don't freak out.
You're black. I'm gay. We are so dead.
Will you stop? It's me, it's Millie. Hail, Blissfield, high, fill our glory and our might.
That's hilarious. I like the
my
setup.
God.
And not only is that psycho wearing my body, he's killing it.
So she's a serial killer in her body.
Yes.
Chloe,
Right.
who knows how many of our friends he's gonna kill?
Are you sure this is safe?
And Vince Vaughn is good in stuff like this.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my God, it's a slaughterhouse.
I have like less than 6 hours to swap back or I'm gonna be stuck in his body forever.
Hurry up, loser. I gotta take a dump.
I have to admit, it hasn't been all bad.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Whoa! How's that feel? I'll make you wish your stupid face was never born. Oh my God, did you just pee yourself?
It's cool to see Vince Vaughn like this. I like
Yes.
it.
Yeah. That's kind of a smart idea. Actually.
Yeah, that was pretty. It's accurate.
Great. We're gonna get killed by Murder Barbie.
All right.
I can't wait to kill you.
Time to stop this asshole.
We're in this together.
I want my body back.
Come and get it.
Look, I know I look like the butcher, but it's Millie.
He's crazy.
Okay, Booker, can you look at me, please?
Dry up, bitch.
Booker, help! Booker!
Will you shut up?
Booker!
I think that looks kind of fun, actually.
Looks kind
I
of
think
funny.
that looks like a blast, actually. I think it looks really fun, and the character's really lively. It's very colorful.
It's funny, Vince Vaughn, right?
Yeah.
He's like, you can't get more opposite to a teenage girl of an actor.
Well, it's kind of like, that movie, Big, kind of like
Yeah.
that, but with the switcheroo, but the serial killer. So you add that kind of thing into it. So
But the title is Freaky, which is like Freaky Friday, which
Yes.
is the
Exactly.
body
Right.
swapping kind of
Right.
idea.
right.
And I love
yeah,
this Blumhouse. I love Blumhouse. They're like they're unabashedly horror. I love those guys, and everything
seems
they put out
kind
is
of-
interesting. They're like kind of like, if you're gonna bring out the kind of low budget horror, they kind of hit the notes all the time instead of that low budget horror that you're like, is it gonna be good or not? I mean, if I see Blumhouse, I'm like, oh, this could be good.
Seems like they're kind of calling back to the prime days of that kind of horror film. I mean, in this one, it's a little self-referential, a little meta. Where they're saying, if this was a horror movie, I would be the first one to get killed, and then the guy running, you're black, I'm gay, we're the first to go.
It's like Scream.
Yeah.
And I like it because really horror movies exist in a world usually without horror movies.
Right.
So I like when there's a horror movie and
Yes.
you're like, if this were a horror movie, this would be, and I think people would be reacting that way. Like, this could be a horror movie, I would be doing this, So I think
Yeah.
it was kind of a fun little, inside joke.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's also hard to sort of, that horror comedy thing is very tough to sort of, is it going to be too goofy and silly to not be scary, or is it too scary and it's not funny?
Yeah.
There's a fine line,
Yeah.
between stupid and clever, as a
Right.
wise man once said. But there's a thing, especially with horror movies, that if you're making funny about horror movies, you have to really know your horror movies, because the audience who's watching this is very savvy about their horror movies. And if you make the wrong kind of joke, or if you make a joke that's not quite, it doesn't fit the lock, you know what I mean? It
You've
rings
lost them.
wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've lost. You've finished.
to really pull it off, you have to love horror movies to make a good horror movie comedy, or
Yeah.
you're just not going to make it.
You have to
because
understand
otherwise,
the
you're not
appeal.
committed. Yeah, exactly.
Like
It
Shaun
has to
of the
be a little
Dead.
bit of shocking.
Well,
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead to me is like the touchstone of like
That's
just
the
a
perfect.
great mix of both. It's
Yeah.
really hard to pull that off. But Christopher Landon's other movies, Happy Death Day 2, were kind of on the lighter version of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they were fun. It was fun, and it wasn't necessarily a horror movie, but she kept dying and reliving it and
Right.
getting killed.
Mhm.
So it had a nice tone to it. So if, this feels like it's going to be in the same vein of that, which
Yeah.
is fine for a fun
Yeah.
movie, you know.
Seems like
I'm
it's going
always
to
in
be
a mood for-
clever. You know, there's an interaction between her and her, you know, the two people who have swapped places. It seems like they have some pretty funny interactions. And
Right.
And you kind of put yourself like, who would I believe? I mean,
yeah,
you're not gonna, nobody would want to believe they switched bodies. So, you know,
Yeah.
the serial killer definitely has the edge because, you know, Vince Vaughn would just be creepy. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
trying to hang out.
And Vince Vaughn can play creepy, but he can also play a high school kid, a high school girl. You know?
And it looks like he's having
kind of a
fun,
goofy
which, you
way.
know,
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
been kind of trying to be serious lately. And it's cool to see him kind of go back to a little bit of comedy with an edge. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm very welcome to see that.
But it seems like a little outrageous of a premise. You know, nobody's gonna. So probably pretty fun to watch rather than.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's some horror movie parodies and comedies that they kind of, there's like a balance between these bloody murders, these death, you know, and trying to make it into something funny. And sometimes that strikes me as mean spirited. You know, I just get a feeling like, oh, that. I mean, I'm kind of weird about things like that, where I'll feel like, oh my God, you know, that's awful. And then I can't laugh anymore. You know what I mean? If it's
Yeah.
too horrifying, I feel like I kind of had my funny drained out.
Well,
So I
that's
hope
how
it doesn't.
Yeah, well, a good filmmaker will make sure that doesn't happen. Like Shaun of the
Right.
Dead, there's people dying, but it's
Yeah.
also, you feel sad for them, but it's also funny. I don't know, that works, you know.
Yeah,
because
it's a fine
zombie
razor's
film, so,
edge
yeah,
that you're
yeah.
walking when you make
Yeah.
scary,
Yeah.
try to make scary
hard
funny.
to do,
Yep.
to do.
Yeah.
It has to be very character based. Otherwise, it just seems superficial.
And it has to live in that other world where like you were saying, it's a horror movies exist in this other world where horror movies don't exist often, but they also have to exist in a world. These kind of sort of lighthearted horror movies have to exist in a world where death is not as horrible as it is in the real world.
Yeah, when you're getting head sawed in half, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that's gonna happen, and it's not gonna make you worry about the guy's wife and kids and the horror of dying, and you know,
Right, yeah.
it's gonna make you kind of, I don't know, you have to do it in a certain way that makes it outrageous and cartoonish, but even still, sometimes when that happens, like I remember with like The Walking Dead, you know, in some ways that's kind of it takes place in that weird world where there's a lot of killing and a lot of death, and you're sort of not taking it seriously. You're not thinking about the repercussions as much. And it kind of got to me, it kind of got to the point where it was just feeling mean spirited. I didn't really want to live there. I didn't want to go there anymore.
Well, they didn't know the word zombie back then.
Right.
Nobody used it. Somebody used zombie, please.
What do we
They're
call
using
them?
everything but zombies.
Walkers. And,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, whatever. But this looks
So,
fun. I think. This
yeah,
is
I'm looking forward to this.
A fun, popcorn
Yeah.
movie.
And it's another one of those. It's released on pay-per-view. I think you can get it at home, not just in theater. So it's out now, I believe.
And it's actually been on some 10 best lists. believe it or not,
cool.
2020.
Oh, 10 best.
Yeah, for 2020. So
And it's
There.
Michael Landon's son, right?
Christopher Landon is the
Landon.
director, and he's done a few other movies in the same vein. So he kind of he has that niche.
3
Right.
solid, fun horror films he's done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Happy
Yep.
Kind of
Days.
old school
Okay.
style, old school vibe.
Right.
Really fun.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming to see us at Trailer Track.
Yes. Thanks for visiting our trailer.
And like all three of us, be freaky.
Yes.
Freaky T.
That was Burk being freaky.
Freak me out. Woo! All right. See you next time.
All right.
Cinemondo's Trailer Trash. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
The Earth is invaded by indestructible